Welcome to my new YouTube channel, which is Pan-African Vision. This is our inaugural video, and it's one of a series of videos that we will be showing, exploring the experience of Black diasporans on the continent and the experience of the local people with us. So this first video is a panel of Black expats who have lived in Rwanda and in Africa, the continent, for different years. Some of us have been here a short time, others more than 30 years. So we're going to explore what that experience has been living in Rwanda and or Africa. The second video will be a video of Rwandese local people to talk about what their experience has been of us. And then the third video will be groups coming together, the Black diasporans as well as the local Rwandese people, to talk about our common interests and what is there some way we can work together for our common benefit. So that is the outline of what we're doing here, and we're going to start by just asking the panelists to introduce themselves. And I would like for you to tell us as much of your name as you feel comfortable, how long you've been here, and what is it that you do in Rwanda. Can we start with Jay?
Really? So I am known as J Essence, YouTube channel J Essence Journey, and I have been in Rwanda. November 1st will go into my year 3. And when you ask me what do I do in Rwanda, child. So I will say that I have comfortably embraced the title of entrepreneur. And that was a very foreign title to me. And in doing that, I am over J Essence Enterprises, which is a holding company right now of 3 businesses: Hatama Farms, 365 Rwanda, and My Cousin Connection. I would not be telling the truth if we having this conversation right now to say that I have let go of my U.S. ties and I still have a full-time job there. I think we have to be very conscious about what we talk about and the expectation when it comes to expenses and finances. So while I do have my businesses, I'm waiting for that turnover. I still carry my full-time job, contract work, and tutoring. And so that is what I do. And I have a mother here as well that I have to watch. So
Yes, right.
Your name is Jamaica. So, my name is Lamont Muhammad. Where am I talking here? All right, Lamont Muhammad, half owner of Ikawa Cafe with my lovely wife, Adila Muhammad. We've been here for about a year and 6 months now, along with our wonderful, wonderful family, my mother, my mother-in-law, my lovely granddaughter, and lovely niece, and we are happy to be here in Rwanda.
My name is Imakus Njinga Okofu Ababio, and I know that's a mouthful. Imakus virtually means I, Mother Africa, Queen of the Earth. And since nobody ever calls me Imakus, everybody calls me Mama One Africa, wherever I go.
Which language is that?
Which what, honey?
Language.
Which language? It's called the power to define. It's called the power to define. I believe that when you change your name, and I did change my name from being Vienna Swenson to take on an African name. Part of it is Hebrew. Part of it, as I said, is the power to define. And it's spelled. It is called the power to define, which means I have the power to define who it is that I am. All right? So, for example, and I'll break it down real fast, I, capital I, means I, one with the Almighty God. M, capital M, stands for mother. A, capital A, stands for Africa. I, Mother Africa. H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. which when I was escaping from America, I was coming forward to either build or destroy.
Come on now.
Kush, K-U-S, with the H moved to the middle, is the land of the burnt-faced people.
Yes, it is.
So I am Mother Africa, Queen of the Earth. So that's where my name comes from.
Beautiful.
Okay? My middle name, I'm named after the Queen of Angola. My last name means the mighty warrior. And Ababu is a name that they gave me in Ghana, which means he or she that was away and has returned. And I have, in fact, returned. I've lived in Africa for almost 35 years, 30 of those years in Ghana, 3 of those years in Rwanda. I guess you could call me a jack of all trades. I am an entrepreneur. I own a business, health resort, restaurant, and museum. And thousands of people have passed through my place in Ghana. I'm Ghana'd out. So that's why I'm here in Rwanda.
You shout that one out.
All right.
Yes.
My name
And you get
is-
to follow that.
No, I know. That's a hard follow. That's a hard follow. My name is Chester Lee Tapp. I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. For the last 5 years I was in Philadelphia. I've been here in Rwanda just over a year. 20 years ago, I lived in Accra and in Guinea-Conakry. I am part owner of Sheila's Honey, which November 12th has 1 year anniversary. Come by and see us.
Yes.
And I'm Deborah Greenwood, and I have lived in Rwanda since November 4th of last year, so I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary. And a big part of why I'm here is this lady, because in 2018 I went to 5 African countries, one of which was Ghana, and I went to her resort, One Africa, had a fabulous time, and what I'll never forget, listening to Motown under the Ghanaian moon. It was magical. And I was telling Mama One that I was thinking about moving to the continent, and she's the one who first told me about Rwanda. And so she started telling me about no single-use plastic bags. Since 2008, I go, ding. And then she says, cleanest country in Africa, ding, ding. And then she said, 61% of the parliament was female, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, I'm there, okay? So I started watching videos. I didn't even need to come out. A lot of people are surprised that I didn't come out to visit. Well, I didn't need to, because I watched the videos, and just those 3 points that she gave me said to me, this is a country whose values are like mine. And so I was here. So what I guess you can call me now the Plastic House Lady, because that's what I'm working on, is promoting and building for myself a house out of recycled plastic. And I have a whole video series on another channel, Deborah's Sustainable Life, if you want to go there. But that's kind of the main thing that I'm doing right now, and then doing these YouTube videos, because I am about education and organizing people.
Right. My name is Marlon Weir, originally from Jamaica, grew up in New York, and lived in the Middle East for over a decade. And I've been in Rwanda for 2 years now, a little over 2 years. What I do here is a mixed bag, like most everybody else, my esteemed colleagues, panelists. A little bit of production, a couple of startups that are still starting. And really the most important thing to me about being on the continent is having a reconnection, having an impact, sharing whatever I've picked up in life, good, bad, and the ugly, because often we want to just talk about our good sides, kind of like what social media does as well, but a lot of people, especially young people, can learn from negative aspects and what happened adversely in our life in terms of how they can avoid pitfalls and what have you. So what I've been enjoying here is being able to connect with a lot of our Rwandan young people to be able to share various things of my personality and my Peter Pan ways a bit, you know, like I don't need to quote unquote grow up like how everyone else has. And I think people, especially young people, really take to that there is not just one way to do everything. So yeah, kind of sharing that and showing that, and glad to be part of the panel.
So that leads me to the next question, and that was, what was the promise of Rwanda for you?
I've gone into detail. I'm going to try to keep it brief for here. And if we talked, I was drowning in America. I was drowning in who I was. I couldn't figure it out. I need breathing, and I needed to feel like I was worth something. And I have to say this right. I had to tell my mother for her to understand, I am not the daughter you raised me to be here. So that prompted me to leave America. That's why I just needed the space. And it's kind of like when you have a situation where you have to walk away and look at it. And so I was afforded the opportunity to go to Dubai. What I also knew is when I was leaving America is that I myself worked way too hard to struggle in retirement. And I could not figure out the economy, and being an education school teacher or administration, I just couldn't figure out where my happiness was going to be. And I wasn't going to work with these kids for 35 years and then be stressed out in retirement. So I was always looking at a place to retire to. And my original thought was, I'm going to do Ghana. Well, the thing is when I got out of America and into Dubai, one thing that's in America we hear all the time is West Africa. So I was really key bent on Ghana, Ghana, Ghana. But it just wasn't clicking. But when I got to Dubai, I started hearing Rwanda. Rwanda's this. Rwanda has a retirement visa. Rwanda's the cleanest place here. Rwanda has this. Did you hear what the Rwandan president said? Like, there's all these whispers. And what I heard was, whatever Rwanda's doing, it's aligning up with where I think I can retire and be okay. So my original goal was just to come here for Christmas, look for possibility of land, and at least set up a bank account so I can start doing my retirement fund out here. And that's why I said the worst thing you can do is tell God your plan. Because the moment where I came to terms with, this is what I'm going to do, I got a job offer and I was moved to Rwanda 3 weeks later. And I'm telling you, it was out of the blue. So I never had planned on being here, being in Rwanda, working. I still was stuck in the antiquated phase, like I can't be happy until I retire. So that's my story. I was really looking for an African country, that I could retire to and be okay. And now I'm here 20 years before retirement. So
did the election of Donald Trump in 2016 motivate any of you to leave America like it did me?
I was already gone.
I know you were gone. I mean,
I'm going to give you, and I don't want to overtake the conversation, but I don't like this, but I'm going to be honest.
What?
I'm going to be honest.
please.
The election of Donald Trump motivated me to stop lying to my students. My black students who are saying work hard, be good, and you will be rewarded, and we have a liar as president.
Right.
And I found it very hard to hold my tongue and not start teaching militants and how to get over and get the job done. And it was really hard for me to sit there with a curriculum that taught my children to be passive aggressive and wait their turn for their blessing. So I will say that it was a trigger. And it was a trigger, like to the domino. It started unraveling so much more. So I wouldn't say it was necessarily the move for me, but I was tired of lying to black children.
Amen.
That's good. Donald Trump it didn't motivate me to leave. I was thinking about coming back to the continent after 20 years. I just got tired of the craziness. and I started searching. And after Donald Trump won, I remember going to sleep saying, Hillary has it. And I woke up and I saw Mr. Trump was president. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll continue to see. And having lived on the west side of the continent, I decided to look here on the east, and Rwanda kept popping up. And everything that I read about was true. I came, I saw, and I decided to stay. So Mr. Trump may have motivated just a little bit.
And conquered.
Conquering.
Yes, conquering.
So what have you found that works well here in Rwanda? You know, there's some cities that work, some countries that work, some states that work, and some that don't. They're like chaos, they don't have their leadership, people are suffering. What seems to be working well in Rwanda?
I think to combine all three of your questions, why Rwanda, and also what works well in Rwanda, and then about just politics in America.
Politics, I heard that.
So why Rwanda? A whole laundry list of things, from safety, one of the safest countries in the world, not just Africa, one of the cleanest countries in the world, not just Africa. As you mentioned about, female leadership, being very respected and powerful here, influential. Things working, and then to that point, things actually working, so strong institutions. I'm sure all of us at this table have been to the, RDB, which is Rwanda Development Board, for this reason or that. And, it's very straightforward. What you have to do, what you have to present to them documents-wise. You're not doing backhanders or who do you know, or you have to, everything is just very straightforward. Not saying there is none, but there's zero tolerance for corruption, which is just so a breath of fresh air for an African country to actually say that out loud, and even give a hotline for you to call in if you find someone being corrupt or asking you for a bribe or whatever. So and just the person that the leader of the country is, like the president of the country, he's just very visionary and forward thinking, and he's not just thinking for himself or his friends or today. It's like 30, 40, 50 years down the line when he knows he's not even going to be here. And that really shows you the true mark of a leader and someone that cares about their people and what they've been tasked to take care of. So, and then about leaving America, I've been outside America for a long time, way before President Trump. Growing up in New York, I knew him as the Donald because he's a New Yorker. So we knew who he was way back then. So it didn't surprise me any of these things. But even when George W. was president and going to war with Iraq and all these things, I knew I made the right choice anyway. When Obama came in, I was kind of there in solidarity, but I didn't nothing said to me, go back. Things are going to change. I was like, yeah, that's a token they're going to throw us, but that'll be it. Scraps off the master's table. And we have to realize that we need to have options in life in general. People have options for most other things in their life, but where to live, usually they just think that, America's the best country, so this is all that I need to think about. But I think that most of us have seen within recent years that you can't even trust that anymore. And it doesn't have the same prestige that it used to have. It doesn't have the same position in the world that it used to have, the same respect, etc. When you say that you're American, people kind of well, what's up with this? Or why do you guys, or why is this happening? Or, etc. As opposed to yeah, America, great. So, just having those options. And also, lastly, to lead by example. Because as a Pan-African myself, I know it's a lot of people talk about it and say, yeah, Africa, I'm going to go, or that's good, or yeah, I wear a medallion, or what have you. But they've never left even their town in America or their city in America, much less the country, or even have a passport. So it's leading by example, and hopefully people will be able to see that I myself and all of us here are practicing what we preach. So the continent is here, it's open for business, and Rwanda definitely is, and that's why I chose to be here.
So has your view of America changed since you've been here?
Well, can I stop you off for a minute? And this is not just my belief, it's what I've carried with me forever. First and foremost, we need to give all honor, praise, and glory to our Mother, Father, Creator. and to the memory of our great African ancestors, whose shoulders we stand upon,
Praise God.
whose backs we lean upon, and whose shoulders have held us up until this day.
Yes.
And it is because of our ancestors that we're here. When I went to Ghana the first time in 1987, some guy walked into my agency and told me he was a chief. And I said, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yes, I'm an African chief." I said, "Yeah, my name is Pocahontas." Now what? Okay. Because we never had this thing, really about Africa. So I went, thanks to my king man who is joined Ancestors. He said, "Baby, why don't you go and see what's happening?" And I must say that I was royally pissed off when I got to Africa and saw that they lied to us big time. And we bought it hook, line, and sinker. But when I stood in those dungeons and felt the presence of my ancestors, I knew from 1987 that Africa was going to be my home. And it became my home with great sacrifice. That sacrifice meant giving up my family, leaving my children, leaving my mother, the rest of my family, to come to be a part of what is ours, okay? We get crumbs from the table from white folks and from America. Most Africans want to go to America. They want to go to Europe. The one thing that I will never do, and I've only done it once in my life, and that was to save someone's life. I don't help people go to America. Now, if I'm a bad girl for that, fine. I don't care.
I don't either.
I don't. We're like ships in the night. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't go. Go see and come. And that effort that you're using to develop America to that land that really don't like you, okay? Use that here. So for me, there's an expression, it says you can run but you can't hide. I thought I could hide coming to Rwanda, but I ran into all of y'all.
Knocking on doors.
Just knocking on doors. And I saw you on the video, and I think I've got like 200 or more videos. And one of the reasons that I have so many is that I've been in business in Africa since 1992. I never paid for advertisement. Anytime somebody said, "Can I interview you?" I say, "Yeah," because it's free advertisement. When ABC said, "I want to interview you," I said, "Sure." When Anderson Cooper came and put a microphone, I said, "Oh, yes." You know how folks say, "Well, Anderson Cooper ain't never did nothing for black folks." I said, "Well, last time I looked," as my great-grandson said, "you ain't black, you brown." Okay? So, for me, I have to stop saying that I don't like America. I don't like American politics. I don't like what America has done to us or what we have allowed them to do. That part I don't. Do I ever want to live in America again? Hell to the no. Okay, I don't. Being here in Rwanda, so I get people tell me all the time, "Oh girl, I'm so glad to meet you. I've been wanting to meet you. I heard what you said." I said, "Well, yeah," he was like, "the Pied Piper," okay? I used to call my husband that, the Pied Piper, the diaper set, okay? Because all little children loved him. They see him and act like that. But Africa, that I see, has given us the opportunities that we did not have in America. That we have looked at, like people, "Oh, so they're always staring at me." Stare at me, I don't care. Hi. I just wave at them and smile, okay? I'm not intimidated. But Africa has given to us a new look at what it means to have a family. All the family, okay? And all of you, I'm sure many of you have given up your biological families in America. She's blessed. She got her mama here.
On accident.
Well,
She thought I was crazy.
well, you know, most of our parents thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
My mother thought I was crazy. My kids think I'm crazy. They still think I'm crazy. They said I've fallen out my tree house. You know? I'm like, y'all want to come and see my tree house? Check this out. Okay. But, you know, the bottom line to all of that is that I've learned a lot. I've been given a lot. What I asked the ancestors for, the ancestors gave me. They gave it to me.
Yes.
When, I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. Matthew and John, and I'm not a religious person, okay, but I can read. Matthew and John came to my hotel in 1987 and said, would you like to visit my village? So I said, yeah, I ain't never been to no African village before. I'm out of New York. So sure enough, I went down to their village. On their way to the village, I stopped at some land. And I stood there by that one tree that they had. And I prayed and I said, you know, if you give me this, I will be an obedient servant. I'll do whatever y'all tell me to do. But I want this.
On the Atlantic.
On the Gulf of Guinea, between two major edifices, the Cape Coast Castle Dungeons and the Elmina Castle Dungeons. Went down to the village, visited them, went back to America, told my husband, we need to start packing because I want to get the hell out of here.
Yes.
My husband came by himself for 1 month, and when he came back, he said, get that paper and pencil, because we going to Africa.
Yes.
They made him a chief, because in Ghana they make everybody chief. Everybody's a daggone chief. But anyway, I mean, I think he deserved it. I mean, he helped them to get electricity in their village. When you're a chief, when you come back home, you have to go to your village to let them know, I'm back. I knew all the people that had made him chief because I met them in 1987, but they didn't know that he and I were together. When he said, let me take you to the land that they gave me when they made me a chief. It was the same land that I stood on in 1987 and asked the ancestors for. Not down the road, the exact same place that I still control today. So for me, calling ancestral worship, I gotta be careful what I ask them for because sometimes you get it.
Child.
All right.
So that, one of the things that I heard from what you were saying, Mama Africa, is that you felt a sense of connection to Africa. And when I talk to some people that are here, they say they feel like foreigners.
How are you gonna
And
be
so
foreigner in Africa?
I want to explore that a little
Yeah.
bit. If anybody on the panel feels like a foreigner being here.
I haven't had any real experiences, but I think I understand the miseducation of the black man, and which I know you do too, because I had this discussion. So just like we're miseducated and have been regarding the continent, they definitely have been miseducated about us. Just the other day, a young guy working for us said, I can go to New York without anything, and I can make it just in the middle of the street.
No, you cannot.
So it's a miseducation, totally. So when people are saying, oh, you know, you're coming from the States, they have seen us as one thing that we're not. When doing business in Ethiopia, people would come to DC and I would do mortgages for them. And the women were told that black men would rape them. And they believed it. So it took them a period of time to be there to see I've been lied to. So all this miseducation, Lamont and I talked, and just the white gaze, you don't realize what you go through mentally in the States until you get here and you realize, nobody's looking at me,
Right.
or, you know, I don't have to prove myself.
Right.
When I'm in the boardroom with people, my mom used to always say, you got to be 10 times better. You know, you got to bring more money to the table.
Everything.
I think part of it, Yes, technically, we are foreigners
Yes.
because we were not born on the continent, okay? We come forward with this notion that that's my brother, that's my sister. That's our
Motion.
emotions.
Right.
That's ours. That is not theirs.
Right.
Okay? They are not looking at us as brothers and sisters. Many of them, they're looking at us like a dollar bill with legs. Okay? And so the thing is that don't be hurt, because just like we were uneducated as far as they were concerned, think about the lack of education that they got when about us.
Very true.
The other thing is that what we have to do is, and I always tell people, don't come with high expectations, and then you won't be disappointed.
Thank you.
Okay. So come with your mind open. Remember, visit me, come live with me is two different things. Okay? And then, you get here and you figure, well, this one don't like me. They charge me more than they charge anybody else. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because they have been told that we come from a land where the streets are paved with gold.
Milk and honey.
Milk and honey. The streets for us were paved with shit. Okay? And so we left that to come here. So we have to build relationships. So every time somebody comes and wants money, it calls out, oh, can you? No, I can't do that. But it's a new experience for us. And we have to we can't be so thin-skinned about it. We are more warmly welcomed here than they are welcomed in America.
I wanted to go into this, but I want to give a quick story, true story. I am an educator. And I have been educating for like over 20 years. And being in the history that I am, I grew up on YSB. If you don't know what that is, boo on you. Young Sisters and Brothers magazine. I grew up on Teen Summit. I grew up on BET when BET was teaching up until 12 o'clock on Saturdays. I grew up there was a part where there was teen programs on BET. I grew up in this era where I remember, sorry to say, Bill Cosby wearing HBCU jackets and shirts and sweaters. I grew up with an influence of blackness around me. I grew up in HBCU. I went to an HBCU. So I have always walked the path of you're here for a greater purpose. That is the path that has been taught and ingrained in me, and I've walked that path. So when I got into education first, I was working in Boys and Girls Club, non-grants, giving out time for pennies, giving out time, working with our kids. You must believe, children are the future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. I sang the solo the loudest, baby. And then I finally became an educator. And because of my eagerness, naivety, I was like, put me in the top hood in Chicago.
Oh, Lord.
I'm in the 30s. I'm in the 130s. I'm in All Gill Gardens. I will shout y'all out. One way in, one way out. That, ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. And I'm sitting there all of 24 like I'm about to change the world in Chicago. A child from Oklahoma. But I have all this education. I have all this knowledge. And I'm supposed to be putting it in our kids. And I went in there because I was going to show them a new world. I was going to show them everything they could be. I was going to teach them things they never learned before. They whooped my tail. Year one. It was a struggle every day. It was a fight. And I wrote, because I've actually written books and I had to put this in. And I said it was my fault because I put my world into their eyes. And I never took time to learn their world and see what it is. All I had to do was be a vessel. I did not have to come in and be a hammer. I just need to be a vessel. And I don't know, and I can't say anything. I don't know where my babies are now. That year one I'm talking about, I can't say name, they had a tattoo. If you want to know true Chicago All Gill Gardens, we had a man come in and beat up another kid because he was sleeping with his daughter, but the man was sleeping with the daughter and he was jealous. It wasn't protection. That's where I was. I was where they were learning how to get welfare checks so they can get pregnant at 14 and 15 because they got their own house. How do I come in with a curriculum and teach you this is not the way? But I can tell you that 10 years later, I get telephone calls from them. Guess where I'm at, Miss Washington? Guess what I'm doing? Because all I was a vessel. That was it's not about, so I had to learn at a young age that in education, it's not about me. It's about me doing what I do. It's about me being who I am. I have been built with a character set. It is my responsibility to live that character set because people will watch what you do.
Yes.
People will sit there and learn. So if we go back to this term of Mzungu, I have let it go. Let me be honest with you. Because they have never seen nothing like me. They have never seen nothing like me. I'm a spitfire, I turn different colors, I'm frustrated, I talk fast, I talk loud, I dance in the middle of the streets, I high five you for no reason, I'm nodding you, I'm smiling at you, I'm in line, and I'm gonna stand like I'm supposed to be here.
Yes.
They ain't seen nothing like me, and I understand.
What neo-colonialist thinking have you observed in yourself since you've been here or any other place in Africa?
Things supposed to be
Because
done
it's
something.
there. I promise you it's there.
Yeah,
It's there.
so that's a great question, and I would say neo-colonialist thinking that I've witnessed personally, as well as watching some people that I'm sure we all watch in terms of YouTubers, is that feeling of a black savior, because Africa doesn't need white saviors, and we can clearly distinguish, like, oh, what's that person doing, what's that person doing, they're up to something. But we got to also take a look in the mirror as well and see how we're engaging with Africa. If we're here to dictate or tell things and how we do it like this, and this is what you should do and you're doing it wrong, as opposed to sharing experiences and getting an equitable relationship out of Africa. And Akon said it a while back. It's not actually, Akon said it to me because I interviewed him before. And, I asked Akon, what can we do for Africa, is what I asked. And as soon as it left my mouth, I'm like, oh, no, not like that. And he said, no, brother. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's coming. He's gonna give it to me. And he's like, you should ask yourself what Africa can give to you. And I won't answer that like for everyone, but like for me, it's been so many things. And like, I'll just wrap it all up in peace of mind. Peace of mind.
See,
like that.
I agree with that. We come forward with telling them what they need. Okay. Like, you come with this attitude of, I'm going there to teach them something. Who died and left you in charge and made you know every damn thing? So for me, I'm here to serve. My position is, what can I help you to do? Like, I have a program here to economically empower women who are survivors of the genocide. The women in my program, the first group, range in age from 26 to 56. And we've been running this program for the past 2 or so years. Not as far ahead as we could be because of COVID.
Yeah.
But the thing is that my position was, well, what is it that you want to do? And how can I help you to do that? Not, this is what I want y'all to do, okay? And so, in serving, I get a lot out of serving, because what comes back from being of service, you can't count, okay? And so, it's like, who are you? Who am I? I'm me. I am who it is that I am. I don't make no bones about it. I'm not trying to be nobody else. If you like it, fine, and if you don't like it, that's fine too, all right? I want to live my life, as the brother said, peace of mind. That's why I could walk away from $1 million business, because I got peace of mind. And I'm doing what I want to do versus what I have to do. There's a big difference. So for someone else, you know, finances, a lot of money and all the rest of that, that may work for them. If I had it, I could use it. I don't have it, and I don't sweat it, because I have everything that I need. So if we look at our needs versus our wants, then we'll be fine. And then we as a community, as a family, we help each other.
Yes,
Here's my brother over here.
yes.
He didn't know me from a can of paint, and he helped me. Sister don't know me from a can of paint, and the help has been there. And I can look at everybody in this room to say that at some point along my journey, they have been there. And Mazungo, in Ghana, they call us, what do they call us? Obruni. They call us Obruni. Obruni means white man or foreigner. But when we looked at you have to talk to the elders.
Yes.
And when talking to the elder told me that it's not foreigner. It also means he or she who has come from beyond the horizon. Did we not come from beyond the horizon?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so all the rest of that stuff is, you know, fluff. We just have to throw it away and appreciate the blessings that have been given to us in this journey. Okay. That's why my book says, returning home ain't easy.
No, it's not.
And it is not. But it sure is a blessing.
Yes, yes.
I just want to be the unpositive person, because I know I have weaknesses. And you said how you're a servant. Everybody has different leadership models, and everybody has different leadership callings. I am going to say, number one, it is unfair for me to judge myself and my team not here. Because I guarantee you, if you probably ask my team what they think of me, they're going to say something different. And not in a negative. They have told me it's just different ways they show things. But because of where I am and what I do, I'm more in a managerial role. I'm more in a CEO role. I am the person that has to say, no, do it like this. No, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. And I go back to my education, teaching. I was that teacher. I did not give up on you. And there are times that, I'm exasperated. And so the first question I want to answer without it being, I guess, pretty is what colonial things that we have that are our mindsets that we found that were roadblocks. Time issues. Whew.
Lord.
There's a different...
Please unpack that.
I don't want to. But, and I'm not going to sit here and go down this long list. What I'm saying is that there's 1, 2, and 3 here. And the first one is that I'm going to get in trouble, so y'all can shoot me. But the work ethic of the Black American is unmatched. And I only say that because I'm coming from Dubai. Because we have come from a system where we always had to be 2 to 3 times greater than a counterpart, and know that we was going to get 2 to 3 times less. Even just to go to school, to go to college, whatever, we had to work hard, and we could not be failures, because failures got you kicked out. You don't get second chances. So the thing is that I automatically have this work grit and grind. I do not know how to be still. I have 3 businesses and 4 jobs.
Yeah.
That's by choice. I can't even lie to myself anymore. But I know how to work. There is a certain work ethic that I come from. And I recognize this when I moved to Dubai. Because everybody else got off at 3 o'clock. And they looked at me like, but you still, I'm still, I got to get the grind done. Because you can't. So I'm going to say that that's one of those things that when you get out here, it is very hard, not impossible, but very hard to find someone who has that same work ethic. There is a work ethic in Africa that deals with grinding. Because I will tell you that the people who work for me, even at lower levels, they will work nonstop, they sweat, they do a lot of different things. So I can't say that the work ethic and the grind and the hustle is not there. But I can say that for me, and this is why I started off, the innovation and creativity that I have in thinking different and thinking and doing this and trying new things. It's very hard for me to convince my team to try something new. It's very hard to do that. And so the balance, and I don't give this person a shout out enough, is that God blessed me to be able to be who I am and be an innovator while my mother is my balancer. And my mother is the other side of what needed to happen for my dreams to come forth. And I didn't realize, but my mother is the one that takes time and she'll talk to people because I don't have that time. I'm in this meeting. I'm in this meeting. I have to go here. I have to meet here. I have to run all these things. But sometimes it takes me training somebody over and over again to make sure that they get it right. My mother is my great balancer. We are a team. So I'm not going to by any means say I'm perfect. I'm not going to say J Essence is this entrepreneur. She's doing this. No. One of the key things that I have to get better at is saying hello. Because I will text somebody, good morning, did this get done? And they'd be like, hello. I'd be like, because I'm work oriented. I am work oriented. And part of that is my upbringing. And I'll go personal. When you have a family member who asks how you're doing, but they ask you based on your resume. What have you accomplished lately? That taught me at a young age I'm only worth my accomplishments. So there's a lot of unpacking that happens, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it around with peace of mind. I'm finding a place where I have the peace to do that, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, hey, I can easily jump into that. That's part of my learning ground. But I will say, bonus is my team is not the same people that they were when they came to me.
Yes.
Everybody has a different skill set now and can do more. And my mother told me, no, you need to keep dreaming, you need to keep pushing, because every time you dream, somebody becomes better. And so we have to work together. But there are bumps in that. There's communication bumps, there's time bumps. I probably have been rude to people on accident because of how I am. But I'm just going to be honest. You have to learn how to navigate your personality with the flow of things here. And it's different. It is very different. And I say that's mine to own.
So I'm going to ask a question that may be a good question, or you guys may think is not. But it's something that I worry about. And that is, are we the new gentrifiers? Because I worry about the fact that land prices have gone up since we've come here and started buying land. I'm not sure what else has gone up, but mainly it's the land. That because we have the money to pay for the land, prices have gone up. Are we going to make it so that people who grew up here cannot afford? So are we the new gentrifiers?
I don't know if we're the new gentrifiers. Capitalism doesn't have a conscience. And as you know, in the States, you move into a neighborhood, depending who comes there, the property values go up. Now, thinking about the colonialism, I came here, and probably just one of two people that took this idea. I came for money. I didn't come to escape. I came to do business. And I expect a return on my investment. And I'll make sure that employees do what they have to do to get that return. I had no lofty ideas about being here. I know where I'm from in Guinea-Bissau, but I'm here to make money. Well, that's where I initially came from. I had peace of mind. I didn't have it in the States, and I still have a business there. I have peace of mind here. I've employed people and I pay them well, but I expect a return on my investment.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So, with capitalism without a conscience, the property values may go up. And other people may have to move to the other side of town. That's how it happens. So either we don't bring our capital and we don't do business and do whatever, or you just come here and live in the village.
Here, and just to add on that, Lee, I was living in Dubai as well, just like our sister Jay. And you know, they don't call it gentrification in the Middle East. They call it progress. Really, they call it progress. All them tall buildings and glass towers and all that you guys see on TV and on social media, no one says, oh, what lower class people, income-wise, got pushed out of their property to make the Burj Khalifa. But however, in Africa, just because we had to improve a village situation or pave a road, etc., where are those people going to live now? But number one, Africa's not running out of land, number one. Number two, I don't think anyone doesn't want progress. Yeah, obviously there's ways to do it, but I think what clearly we can see about in America with gentrification is that there's a clear who is being moved out of neighborhoods and who new is moving into neighborhoods. That's why it's clearly a problem in the States, because we see our people getting pushed out and others moving in, right? And taking businesses, et cetera, et cetera. I think with Africa, again, to bring up the equitable part of it again, as long as like Lee was saying, these relationships are equitable. People get opportunities to either, they get a new home purchase, which I've heard of this happening in Rwanda. I'm sure someone can back me up with facts for that as well, about the government actually building affordable housing, etc., because they want to improve an area. So there's that. So that's the part about identification. I wanted to bring up something else, not necessarily just about the Mzungu part, but general things about that when someone says, oh, I want to move to America, or, why do you see us as brothers? Or, I've personally heard these things before, especially from young Rwandans. And someone the other day, one of the same brothers, I'm just like, on my soapbox, talking and people listening, so great. They told me I'm their mentor. No one's ever called me that in my life, and I was almost teary about it. And he actually said it in front of other people. He said, yeah, Marlon's my mentor. And I'm like, am I? What did I do? I'm just talking. And then the same brother, I hadn't seen him in a while, he hit me up a couple days ago and said, can I come by and just talk to you, take some notes? I just want you to talk to me and, inspire me, just like the way that you encourage me. I'm just like, wow, that's how I talk to everybody, because I want to see us do good. If that young brother does good, I do good. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm making an impact. Like I said, I'm here to make an impact and get an impact made upon me. And then my last point about this part is we got to remember, most every country in Africa is less than 70 years old. So how long did it take for America to get their act together, if it is together? How long did it take for Europe to get their act together, if that is together? Asia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's less than a lifetime. Less than a lifetime have countries here had independence, and most to this day are still purposely destabilized because of the resources they have and what have you. So, again, I think we really need to look at things fairly in perspective and be patient. Like I said, been here 2 years, so in that time, with the startup still starting, I've just said to myself that patience and persistence are my constant companions.
Yes, they are.
Well, you all are babies. You are babies.
To that question,
You all just got here. It take a while. Like you said, patience, yes. You got to have plenty of patience.
You have to learn it because we don't have it.
Because we don't. We come moving like this.
Yep.
And everybody else is strolling. We have to really take that time, and we give what we can give of ourselves, okay? It's a blessing, whether you're here because you were escaping from America or because you came to make money. Whatever your reason is for coming, the fact that you have come, the fact that they can't keep us out of here. And Africa, when people say, how poor Africa is not poor. Africa is poorly managed. And it's a big difference. And if these people would leave us the hell alone, we would be able to make it work, because everything is here. There's no such thing as poor Africa.
No, it's not.
It's poorly managed. Our leadership sucks big time. Okay. But it's that total mindset. And Europe, meaning America and the rest, they have come in like vultures. and wave some few little things in front of our face, and fine, I can give my brother $2,000 and a plane ticket, and he'll sell out his country.
Yes.
Okay.
Lamont, you want to give a final statement?
Final statement? Thank you very much. I'm learning so much. There you go. I've learned so much from each and every one. I'm not really a talker like that. I wanted to sit back, I wanted to learn and to receive. And I received a lot from this panel discussion. And I'm grateful, and I'm looking forward to the next.
Yes.
Sorry, before we let Lamont off so easily, I'm sure that the audience would appreciate you and the dealer, your lovely wife, having employed so many Rwandans, so
Yes.
young Rwandans, having that daily relationship with them. I think if you can kind of frame a statement around that, how that experience has been for you, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch this, want to come to Africa to start businesses, and are thinking about capacity building, and trainings, like Sister Jay, mentioned. So, why don't you speak on that?
She said it, truthfully. It's all through and through. It's been a learning experience for us. The learning and the unlearning, if you will. And not deliberately and not directly, but for me, I don't want to speak for my wife, but for myself, carrying, as what Mama said, that mindset of this is the way we do. But coming to realize that no, we have to become, even though we're the employers, we'll become the student because we're in their culture. And so we've hit points where they said, no, we can't do this because this is the offense of the culture. So we have to be humble and submit. And so we've learned and are still learning a whole lot in the business practices, in the consumership, and all of those things there. We're putting a whole other bracket of things. And so it's a learning process for us. We're still learning, and we're very grateful for the staff that we have. They're ride or die, they're very loyal, and they're very committed. And, each of you have hit those points where that's all I can really say. It's summed it all up.
Executive privilege, I'm going to go to Mr. Chester Lee because you've got to go. So if you have a final statement, please share it with us.
I think the only thing I would say is I love Rwanda. In my brief time here, the government, it's not a panacea, okay? But it's better than other countries that I lived in Africa. Business friendly. I would encourage anyone who wants to come to do business. The people work hard, they just need your direction, just like my employees in the States, same way. But it's a good place to do business and a good place to live. Every day my feet hit the ground, I'm excited. And I'm excited about doing and meeting people and doing business.
Mama One, you want to say anything?
Yeah, well, I'd just like to share something, and I don't want to take credit for it, but it says, never mind what you left behind. Keep in mind what you are yet to find.
Amen.
And that is a Ghanaian proverb.
I'm just going to circle back around. I think it was asked earlier when some people say, like, I don't understand Rwanda, I'm not ready to understand Rwanda. And I'm going to sit there and say, I echo Lee, I love Rwanda. Yes. I got to find another me here. And I don't say that because I was still great in the States. I'm all that, if you don't know. But I got to find another me here. But my journey doesn't mean it's your journey.
That's right.
That's very true.
Period, point blank.
So true.
And there is so much to do, and that's the reason I say it's just important that you have the skill set to step out on a journey.
Yes.
So I say 100%, I love Rwanda, I love learning lessons here, I love the family I've met here, I love the things that I do, I love finding myself as an entrepreneur. As much as my team wants to laugh, I love being frustrated. I have new challenges. I do be frustrated. But it's also who I am. And I am so grateful that Rwanda gave me a place for me to figure out my definition, my language of definition of who I am, and not the definition of what I was supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
Those are two different things, and I appreciate Rhonda for building a stage where I can do that.
Bring us home, Marlon.
First off, thank you, Ms. Deb, for hosting this, and thank you to my fellow panelists. This is an Afro conversation that needed to happen, and I hope this series continues to happen, and you know, we grow in leaps and bounds from this. A saying kept on ringing over in my head, like as I sat here and listened, and that is, in my lifetime. Some of you guys might have heard of Plan 2063. This is the African Union's plan for Africa. If you've read this thick document, you'd realize it's a lot of flowery language. I'm not waiting until 2063.
Thank you. I ain't got time.
I don't either. I don't either.
And none of us have time. Even a wee baby does not have time. And just like I told you guys before, I wasn't trying to toot my own horn of, like, you know, some young brother called me his mentor, and other people, like, you know, like sitting there and listening like they've never heard anything like what I've said before. And I'm sure, Jay, you get this as well. People say, wow, you think different. A lot of frustrations that we may have and we've experienced, and that others coming to the continent might have as well. Again, it's about socialization. We're from different places, okay? But I'll reiterate again, to me, and what's working for me is patience. Because it's not perfect. Nowhere is perfect. Nowhere is always roses. Every now and again, I don't even want to leave the house because things are so hard in my mind, the way that I plan my journey here and what's currently happening, or, you know, kind of like trying to dig yourself out or what have you. Things do happen, but that peace of mind thing, I hold on to that tightly. I hold on to the fact that the universe, the ancestors, you know, the creator, etc., has made this a destiny kind of goal for me to be here. And whatever I've gone through in my life, ups and downs, if I'm able to share this with anybody and they get something out of it, job done. You know, and as we continue on this journey, again, I'll just say that, you know, equitable relationships. We have to really practice that, and that's for whatever position that we're on. We're all people at the end of the day. It's just we've learned things differently. Nothing makes anyone more intelligent or this or that or like that than anyone else, and
It don't?
No, it doesn't. Surprisingly, no. And I've found that I learned so much here. I'm learning things all the time. Sometimes I just gotta listen and remember that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
True, bro. That is
And I continue to learn things from everybody. Yeah. 2 years, I still don't know good enough Kenya Rwanda to have a conversation, but I'm trying.
Don't even bring that up.
I'm trying. Yeah. So and the reason why I brought that up actually isn't even just to be, you know, like, oh, you know, like, why can't I get that together? I apologize all the time to my Rwandan brothers and sisters that I don't know that and that I speak this colonizer language. But what can I do? Yeah, I'll try harder to try to learn that a bit. But also, think about it as well. Most, not just Rwandans, most Africans in general, you will come across know at least 3 languages.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fluent.
Fluently, at least 3 languages, right? So we have to see that, like, wait, there's, like, it's not just what we're being told or maybe a frustrating experience that we've had, etc. It's only socialization, and we just have to share more and be willing to listen and take it in as well. So patience and persistence.
Thank you, and thank you all so much. You did a great job.